Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Capital A Trading. Welcome to another episode of my Forex Weekly. So if you're new to this, I'm just going to go through the markets, look at the best investment opportunities for the week, show you how I'm going to tackle them, discuss that for a bit, and then of course we analyze it throughout the week. So if that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner, stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming from now until the summer. Again, I just want to say a quick shout out to my website. That's www.capitalatrading.co.uk. If you want to take your trading skills further and learn more, do check out my website. You can read up about the mentorship program and what's available to you. Again, I'm going to be looking at trades throughout the week. I have a Discord channel. So again, if you haven't got access to that, send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com and I'll be happy to send the link. All right, let's get into it. Now first, I'm going to check out the fundamentals for the week.
As always, it's important to start that week by just checking out the news. Now, Tuesday, I'm going to be looking at this US dollars speech here just to see if there's going to be any impact on the New York Open. Wednesday, I'll be looking at seeing what that one there is with the pound. Again, looking to see if there's going to be an impact in the morning just after the London Open. I'll keep my focus around the US dollar a bit in the afternoon. There's going to be some high impact news there, of course, Wednesday afternoon. Thursday is going to be the busiest day for the news, as you can see. So that's going to be kind of the day that I look to see all the moves kind of really start to take off. I'll be looking at the euro, keeping an eye on that around the London Open, just to see if there's anything on that. And then, of course, back to the dollar around the New York Open. Friday, of course, the main piece of news is the NFP. So again, we can expect to see the market get very volatile at that time on Friday. So this is the end of the first quarter now. We're now entering the second quarter. You can really start to see the chart make some long-term moves from this point. So again, let's get into it. I'm going to start on the UK100. Now, again, there's a lot of things that are in kind of like the area I've been waiting for all week last week. So this was the action last week. I wanted to see a sell from this area. And all we've had is price just struggle underneath it. And then on Friday, it starts to make a little bit more of a push into the area. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the 7,500 to the 7,600 level all week. I do believe we're going to eventually start to see price pushing away from this area, at least back towards the 7,000 level. So keep an eye on this level. We're just looking to see more struggle as I come down a time frame. You can see how price has just been hitting into it, coming back, and now hopefully that looks like it could be the retest. So again, just keep an eye on that level throughout the whole week. I'm looking to see price push away like at least to the 7,000 level. That's going to be the UK100. Very similar is the US30. Now again, I've been mentioning this area here around the 3,500 mark. Let's say to the 3,500 to the 35,600. I just want to see price come into this area here, preferably that blue candle, hit the base of it, start to show signs of struggle, and then hopefully again we can see a nice push to the downside. So that's going to be the US30 and the UK100. They look very similar. Let's see what happens this week. Also looking very good is gold. As I just move up the time frame here on the weekly, it looks like it's come into this area here around the 2,000 mark, and it's just showing a massive sign of struggle. It looks like to me, as I break down the time frames, there's something being entered here and they're going to come back and retest that level. So just keep an eye on what I would say is the 2020 level, somewhere around there. I just want to see price get back, show the similar signs of struggling, and then hopefully we can look at entering a position. That's going to be gold. Okay, before we get into the top 10, I just want to quickly take you through my website. That's capitalatrading.co.uk. If you want to learn more, you simply just have to go over to the services page, check out the mentorship program, check out the packages, and of course you can see what's available to you in there. Okay, with that, let's get into the top 10 for the week. Okay, so coming in at number 10 is going to be the USD CAD. Now again, I mentioned this sell move recently from the 128,500 level, and it has gone down amazingly. It's gone down around 400 pips. Now, what I'm looking at as I move up the time frame towards the weekly here, I just want to see what's going to happen around this 124, 123 level. I believe we could get another buy push. There's already been two massive moves from this level. Let's just see what it's going to do again. Now, also, I'll be aware that it may dip it for any key liquidity underneath here. So I'm just going to keep an eye out. That's why I've got that the 123, which will be right at the base of it. And of course, just keeping an eye on the 124. It's a nice 100 pip area. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we're going to get the sign of struggle. Hopefully a couple days just sitting here, and then we can start thinking about a position to hopefully see rise up again back towards maybe the 126 to the 127 level. So that's going to be the USD CAD. Okay, very similarly, the pound CAD. recently, I spoke about seeing a sell from this 169 level. It almost got there, but it's now tanking away to the downside. So as I just move up the time frame, I'm just going to be looking at this area here. It's going to be around that 160 level, the key number. It's still around 400 pips away. So again, expect to see this later in the week. This is why it's coming in at number 9. And I'm just basically going to be looking to see price get there, hopefully start to see some struggle. And then we can push back towards, hopefully long term, that 169 level where I'm expecting to see price retest again at some point. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the pound CAD. Coming in at number 8 is going to be the CAD Swiss franc. Now, for those of you who follow me, you'll know that we've had a lot of fun from that 73 level recently. Now it's obliterated the area. It's heading towards the upside. And as I just step up the time frames, you'll start to see how relevant this 75, 500 level can really be. We've had a lot of pushes to the downside from here already, as you can see. And even as I go on to the monthly, there is lots of areas that have already had massive drops from at this point. Now, long term, I understand there's something up here that has been untouched. So eventually at some point, it may need to come up there towards that 80,000 mark, 82,000 mark. And then we might start seeing a massive move to the downside. So I'm going to keep an eye on that 75 level. I'm aware of the 80 above it and what that means. So again, just keeping an open mind, seeing where the trade's going to come from this week. Keep an eye on the 75 level. That's the CAD Swiss franc. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the pound USD. Last week, I mentioned a move from that 130 level. It started to progress very well. I wanted to see it keep going. We wanted to see it get back up towards that 135 level. It started well. Tuesday had a good push. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday just brought it back down to the same level. So as I break it down more, I believe it's around the 131,500 that this is what's holding it up, this little scenario here, the bullish structure. And we are going to eventually see a move that continues to the upside. So just keep an eye on this level around that 131,500. I do believe that's where we're going to start to see the move that gets us back towards that 135. When we're up there, it will be a switch of focus towards the sell. So again, just be aware of that. Keep an eye on the 131,500. That's the pound USD. Coming in at number 6 is going to be my home ground. That's the euro pound. For those of you who follow me, this is one of my favorite pairs. Now, again, not much is going to be changed from last week. This is the daily picture. I wanted to see price get back up towards that 84 level and start to make another push to the downside. It threatened to, got to the 83,700 and then just sat here around this level. So again, I'm just keeping it open. I'm saying that the 84 to the 84,300 at some point this week, I want to see price get there, struggle, create the contract, show me that they've hit the level, move down and come back to it with a retest. And then hopefully we can start to see the move to the downside. And now again, I'll be looking to synchronize this with some of that pound news. When someone's speaking in the pound, it usually gains some strength. So if price hits this point around one of them speech times, we can be even more confident that something will fuel it. Keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the euro pound. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the USD Swiss franc. Now, last week, I mentioned this 94 level. Obviously, the key liquidity area was raided, and now they're turning price around. I'm looking to see it get a retest and then the massive move to the downside. As we break it down a little bit, we were so close last week to getting towards that gap where I wanted to see price hit into. And then, of course, we can start to see the move to the downside. Now, what we've got here is kind of like a limbo. We're sort of stuck in the middle of the road. I do believe we can see a buy push from around this 92 level. So I'm just going to kind of keep an open mind. I'm going to look at this bearish trend that seems to be forming. I do believe we might not get back up to the 94. So maybe the 93,400 back into this area here and then down towards the 92. So again, just keeping an open mind. It can get up to the 94. Let's see if that happens. It may come straight to this 92 and then start to be a buy push. So I've got kind of 3 options here. I just want to see which one's going to look like it's playing out the most and then jump on it. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on the areas I've mentioned. It's the USD Swiss franc. Very similar to what we just went through. The pound Swiss franc. Now, again, for those of you who follow me, there's been some massive moves since that 130 level, and all it's been doing is creating a bearish trend, making moves to the downside. Recently, I spoke about this 124 level here, about there being a sell. And of course, as you can see, we've had a nice movement to the downside, around a 200 pip move. Now, what I'm looking at this week, as I just keep breaking down the time frames, is I do believe we can see a move from this 123 to the 123,500 level. I'm giving it a bit of space to breathe. I like this candle here. I want to see it react from it. I want to start to see the push to the downside. But as I come down the time frames, there was something left here last week, just after the London Open. It's a lonesome blue candle in the middle of nowhere, right on that 123,500 mark. I do believe it can interact with that as well. So it's either going to be this scenario here or that one there, where I'm looking to see the sell. I want to see price come up to it, start to show the signs of struggle. Let me see the bodies candles all leveling out at the same level, and then hopefully we can see a strong push to the downside. So keep an eye on both the 123 to the 123,500. That's the pound Swiss franc. What we're going to do now is get into the top three, and I'm going to do them together because they all kind of have a little link with each other. The first up is going to be the AUDNZD. I'm just going to be watching this 108,000 level to the 108,500 level, just to see price struggle in here and then start to make another move to the downside. Now, as you can see on the higher time frame, there's already been some key pushes to the downside from this level. I do believe it's coming to retest this weekly candle here. So let's see what happens. As I just break it down a little bit more, I just want to see price start to show its struggle and then push away from this area. Target wise, can come back towards this 106,600 here. So again, that's going to be the AUDNZD. That's coming in at number 3. The next up is going to be the AUDUSD. And I've kind of drawn what I want to see here this week. So again, we're starting to see price struggle in what is a key area where it's been before. It looks like it's just about to do another retest, and hopefully we can start to see a push to the downside. The key number is around the 75 to the 75,500, somewhere in here. I'm just expecting to see price really start to push away. Of course, I kind of drawn what I want to see. Let me see the movement to the downside. When you come back up and start to struggle at the same level, that will make me confident if I start to see this happening. And then hopefully that will be the next part. Target wise, long term, back towards the 72. That's going to be the AUD-USD. That's coming in at number 2. My main focus for the week is this NZD-USD, pure and simply because I like the signs of struggle it's had at the end of the week. And of course, I mentioned that 70 level, the key number. It got there, struggled all week, and then we're looking to see the move start. It hasn't actually hit the 70 level yet. It came to around 69,900. So of course, I'll be more confident if it just goes up and taps that at the start of the week, gives me another sign of struggle, and then I'll be happy to really put a big position on. Target wise, 70, at least 200 pips towards the 68. Now, again, remember, we've got the NFP at the end of the week. So I'm expecting price to kind of stall Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, we start to see it really taking off into the areas that it needs to go. Keep an eye on this level. If it stays respected, I do believe we're going to see a big push to the downside. That's the NZD-USD.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Again, keep an eye on them opportunities that I've listed from 1 to 10. Of course, the top 3 are going to be my main focuses. Keep an eye on a couple, monitor them throughout the week, see how they get on. And of course, if price is in the area that I've spoken about, monitor it very closely and think about possibly taking a position. I've been Capital A Trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great trading week.